It's July already. Seems like we just had Memorial Day.
She went to the window and looked out at the oppressive summer night. It was black as pitch and filled with trees. The motel gravel went about 10 feet back, and then there was nothing but dense woods and the invisible creatures hidden within them.
"He'll take another one soon," she said. "Just like last year. And we've done nothing to stop it." "Christ, Ellie. Not this again."
He sat up and tugged on his pants.
"I thought you agreed to let this go."
She rested her forehead against the glass, which vibrated in time to the churning of the antiquated air conditioning unit below it, and she felt the hum penetrate to her veins.
3 people are dead," she said, more to herself than to Sam.
Lord knew he'd heard the words from her enough times that she need not repeat them now. The last time they'd had this conversation was more than 6 months ago, back when he was just the chief and she was a junior patrol officer. He had not listened to her then, but maybe now was different. Now that she had something he wanted. He came half-naked to the window, long limbs moving in easy grace. It was one of the things she loved about him.
"We have no proof of any murder," he said. "You know that as well as I do. We don't even know these people are dead." "They're dead."
The first one, 19-year-old B. Nesbit, disappeared 3 years ago, somewhere between Woodbury and Boston, where she went to school. Back then, the state police had gotten involved in the search, and Ellery had been happy to let them. She'd been on the job only 7 months at that point and did not know the Nesbit family. 10 days later, Bea was still missing, and Ellery had received the first card in her mailbox. Sam touched her hunched shoulder, pushing it back down with gentle fingers.
"People leave their lives all the time and don't look back."
She jerked away from his hand. No one needed to explain to her the urge to disappear, not when she hadn't seen her natural hair color in more than a decade. Lately, she'd been dyeing it dark chestnut brown, a no-nonsense shade whose remnants resembled the color of dried blood as it washed down the drain of her white porcelain sink. Sam's hair was an honest salt-and-pepper black. He was 22 years older and had worked his way up through the ranks in Boston before taking the small-town position in Woodbury as chief of police, where he'd become accustomed to being the smartest cop in the room. Ellery was the only female officer in the department. Not that this was a great accomplishment on a squad of 8 people, but it meant that, for all his depth of knowledge, there were certain experiences she had that Sam lacked.
"B. Nesbit, Mark Roy, and Shannon Blessing are dead," she reminded him, turning around so she could look into his eyes as she said it. "In the next 2 weeks, unless we do something, another name will be added to that list. We'll have another grieving family and no answers to give them. Is that what you want?" "What would you have me do? These cases have already been investigated by our department and others. We have no bodies, no evidence, no suggestion that a crime even took place. I'm not ignoring you, Ellie, but I have to have something to go on here besides your gut feeling."
Her cheeks burned hot, and she looked away. At least he hadn't actually called it woman's intuition. The only evidence she had, besides what little was contained in the official files, was locked at home, in her bedroom drawer, in an envelope where she didn't have to see the birthday cards unless she specifically went looking for them. Not that there was much to see. She could picture the baffled expression on Sam's face if she brought them in and tried to explain what they meant.
"This isn't evidence of anything but the fact that you're another year older. Congratulations, Officer Hathaway, you're aging just like the rest of us."
Maybe if she told him about her other birthday, the one from years ago, then he would understand. He would have to act. Or maybe he would just look at her with pity and horror. Either way, once she told him, she could never take it back. "You could reinvestigate the cases," she said to Sam, trying to keep her voice steady. "Take a fresh look. If we can figure out..."